So wherever you choose to put yourself, just make sure that you're in a place where you can mostly relax. We all have different little things that might be vying for our attention, and that's okay. As much as you can, you can bring 90% of your awareness to yourself. That's probably good enough. And as you're just becoming more and more aware of yourself, you can start to notice your breath. How deeply you're inhaling and exhaling, how quickly, what your breath feels like, what it smells like. Notice any tension in your brow or shoulders or neck. And you're just noticing any other sensations that you might be feeling in your lower back or your belly, in your chest, even in your legs, hands, feet, arms, all of the parts that make you you. Start to really tune into how they are feeling. Let's practice Ujjayi Pranayama for a few minutes here. So Ujjayi Pranayama is just a slight closure at the back of your throat so that when you inhale and exhale, your breath starts to make a sound. And that sound has been compared to like the ocean, or I really like Darth Vader breath because it's very visual, at least to me, because I'm a Star Wars nerd. But so my only tip there is to make that sound, that sort of like hushing sound, on the inhale and the exhale. And so you're trying to create this noise, and the noise is coming from your throat, not your nose. So you'll notice how it sort of starts to travel up to your nose, and you just bring it back down to your throat. So starting with the cleansing breath, you're going to inhale through your nose and exhale through your mouth. Take a deep inhale. And then the rest of the breath will be through your nose. Inhale with a slight closure at the back of your throat, filling up the bottom of your lungs, then the middle, then the top. And then exhaling from the top of your lungs to the middle, to the bottom. And again, just focusing on creating that little closure in your throat as you take your deep inhale. And your full exhale. You really have to concentrate to create that sound from your throat, not your nose. If that's really confusing to you and you don't think you're doing it, it's totally okay. As long as you're breathing, we're good. And just imagining filling up first the bottom of your lungs, then the middle, and then the top. And then exhaling from the top of your lungs through the middle to the bottom. So keep working on this. You're going to do 5 more rounds on your own. And just getting carried away with the breath as you breathe. You're going to finish your final round here. And I invite you to keep that breath going when we start our pose practice. You can leave your hands as they are, bring them together in front of your heart. sometimes like to think of singing Om as like the ultimate exhale. It's just this beautiful long held exhale with sound. It really helps our nervous systems to shift into this awesome place where we practice yoga, more calm and centered place most of the time, sometimes not. Okay, so beginning for an Om, take a deep inhale. Start to open your eyes and find your journal or whatever you're going to write in if you're going to write. And our journal prompts sort of fun today. I want you to think about something that you want, that you're sort of like too embarrassed to ask for like something that you want that's like not, maybe not something that you're comfortable asking for, like it seems too big or like too outlandish, just seems ridiculous, but it's something that you want, that you've thought about before. Okay, and then so that's going to be part of it. And then the second part is just to think of one step, and it doesn't matter how big the step is, but just one step that you could take to get you slightly closer to that thing. Okay, we'll just take a few minutes to jot that down. And once you're done with that, start in child's pose at the end of your mat. If you've got props, just put them to the side where they're reachable but not in your way. And then if you'd like to, if it's something that sort of fits in this way, I want you to practice today as if you have that thing or that experience or that change in your life, whatever it is. Practice today knowing that you already have it, even though we know that's not true. So we're going to placebo have it, okay? And then once you're in child's pose, go ahead and stretch out, like reach your arms so far away from you that your elbows don't touch the floor, and spread your fingers out really wide. And then press your fingertips down into your mat or whatever you're using to practice on, and lift the palms of your hands away. So you're creating like little tents or little spiders with your hands. And then shift back into that Ujjayi Pranayama if you liked that. And if you prefer just to breathe with deep breath, like if the Ujjayi made you anxious or you just didn't really like it, just breathe deep inhales and exhales. And now press the palm of your hands down firmly and lift your fingers and thumbs away from your mat. Imagine you're like creating a little suction cup with the palm of your hand. So almost like you could lift the center, but suction cup the outer rim of your palms down. Your breath. Now you're going to combine those things where you're really pressing into your fingertips and the palms of your hands and really creating almost like a suction or some friction onto your mat so you're stuck there with your palms and your fingers. And on your next inhale, come up to hands and knees, but keep your big toes together. Look forward, press into your hands and your fingers. And then as you exhale, bring your hips back towards your heels. So we're just going to go back and forth a few times here. Inhaling forward, really doing the work of the hands. And exhaling back. And as you inhale forward, let your belly and your chest expand, look forward. And as you exhale back, gather up your tummy and then press your hips down towards your heels when they go back. Keep going like that. Focusing now on your hands, the way your breath moves your body, your belly, and your hips. Okay, one more time like that. Inhaling forward. And exhaling back. And then come to hands and actually sit on your heels for a second with your toes tucked under. Let's do a quick foot stretch. And come off your wrists and just do a few wrist circles. If it hurts you too bad to sit on your toes like this, you can sit or rather stand on your knees and still stretch the bottom of your feet. Okay, and then do wrist circles in the opposite direction. I learned the other day that it would take 18 tons to change the fascia on the bottom of your foot, the plantar fascia, to make a change in that. It would take 18 tons. That's how strong it is. It's amazing. Okay, sit back on your heels. Let's do a little side stretch. Put your right hand on your right hip. Reach your left arm up and take a deep inhale. And then exhale, side bend to the right. Look up underneath your arm and try to bring your left shoulder blade a little closer to your spine. One more breath. You're gonna reach up and over to come out and bring your left hand to your left hip. Take a breath at center. And then inhale, reach your right arm up, stretch up. Exhale, side bend to the left. Look up and underneath your arms, so you're looking at the ceiling. Breathing deeply, and you can even try to bring your right shoulder blade a little closer to the right side of your spine. Just brings your shoulder back away from your face a little bit. And an inhale brings you back up. Okay, start back in that hands and knees position, but take your right leg out to the right and bring your right foot to the floor. You might even look at where your right foot is and line it up with your hip a little better. Alrighty, and then right hand is going to stay on the ground supporting you, so create that suction with the palm of your hand and press your fingertips down. And then as you inhale, turn your chest open to the left, lift your left arm up and look up. As you exhale, you're going to reach that left arm underneath you to the right. And then start to go back and forth, inhaling to open up. Exhale, reach underneath you. Inhale, open up. And exhale, reach. And just breathe as you move. Remember that Ujjayi breath, so trying to bring the sound of your breath down to your throat, expanding on the inhale, contracting slightly on the exhale. Inhale, reach up and then stay there. Take a breath. So take your exhale. And one more inhale. As you exhale this time, you're going to reach your left arm underneath you as far as you can And then lay the back of your left arm down, lay your left cheek down. Okay, so your right hand shouldn't have moved. If it moved, you could put it back where it was. Press your right hand down and toward the right. You should start to receive a stretch on or around your left shoulder blade. And you could even make this weirder. It's already quite weird, I think, by turning your chest more open toward the ceiling and taking your right arm back behind you. This is strange. Might be a little bit too much. You can check it out. If you don't like it, you can come back to hand on the floor, right hand on the floor, kind of in front of your face. We'll do 2 more breaths here. Now using your right hand push down to lift you up. And bring your right leg back. We'll do that same thing on the left side. Take your left leg out to the side, bottom of your left foot on the floor, line your ankle up with your hip. This time your left hand's gonna support you, so start to activate the muscles of that hand and forearm. Press your palm down, press your fingertips down, and then as you inhale, turn your chest open to the right and reach your right arm up, look up. And then as you exhale, reach underneath you to the left. And then start to move at your own pace to your own breath. If you'd like, using Ujjayi Pranayama for your breath. And there's no range of motion that you're supposed to be hitting. Just noticing how you're moving and any difficulties there. Noticing the difference between sides. Just noticing yourself so you can get to know yourself. Not noticing yourself so you can try to fix yourself. And again, we're just sort of embodying that idea, like maybe we're already there. Maybe we already have that thing that we want. What would it be like? Would it be any different? Do 2 more just like that. Okay, this next one, let that right arm guide you all the way to the left as far as you can go. And then place the back of your right arm down. Place your right cheek down. Your left hand will end up pretty much in front of your face. Press your your left hand down and to the left. The idea there is just to sort of move you a little bit more back toward the right and deepen the stretch in your right shoulder blade. No matter where you get to, make sure you're breathing. And if you want to make this weirder, give your nervous system a little bit more stimulation, you're going to turn your chest all the way open and reach your right arm or left arm back behind you to the right. Or you can leave your hand just directly in front of your face. Last 2 breaths here. Okay, and then pushing down firmly into your left hand to help lift you up. And bring your left leg underneath you. Tuck your toes underneath your feet. We're gonna come up through a squat. So using your hands, you're gonna push yourself back until your knees lift, then your heels hit the ground. Once your heels hit the ground, start to lift your butt. And then your head. Finally, you'll be standing. Reach your arms up, bring your palms together overhead, look up. And then exhale, reach your arms out and down. Interlace your fingers behind your back. Take your feet out wider than your hips and turn your toes out a little bit. Let's do a shoulder stretch. Squeeze your shoulder blades together and then lift your hands away from your lower back. Take a deep inhale, look up. And as you exhale, bend your knees, lift your sitting bones as you fold forward with bent knees. Let your head hang at the bottom. Just breathe here as you stretch. You know, it's a little bit different if you let your shoulders relax and do this stretch, or if you lift them away from your ears. And you could even go back and forth between those 2 things and feel the difference. Or maybe you have a preference for one of them. You could do the one that you want. Another full breath. Okay, to come up, place your hands on your hips. Inhale, lift halfway up. Exhale, press off your heels to stand. Inhale, reach out and up, bring your palms together overhead. And then exhale, bring your arms down to your sides. So we're gonna do that one more time, but this time take the opposite fingers on top so that can be weird. So you're interlacing your fingers the more awkward way. And then start by pulling your hands away from your back. And again, doesn't matter how far, like with all these poses, doesn't matter how far you go to the place that's comfortable for you, the place that you actually want to do this in. And then as you inhale, lift your chest, look up. And then exhale, bend your knees and fold forward between your legs. And let your head hang at the bottom. Once again, you can sort of go back and forth from lifting your shoulders or letting them relax. And just seeing, which one you prefer. The more you bend your knees, the easier it is to forward bend. The wider your feet are apart, the easier it is to forward bend. Things to consider. And just continue breathing. Last deep breath. So we're going to come up the same way that we did. Put your hands on your hips. Inhale, lift halfway up. And then exhale, press off your heels to stand up. Inhale, reach out and up. Bring your palms together overhead, look up. And exhale, bring your arms to your sides. All right. Start to move a little bit more. Stand at the top of your mat with your feet hip distance apart. Inhale, reach out and up. Bring your palms together overhead, look up. Exhale, bend your knees, forward bend, bring your fingertips to the floor. Let your head hang. Inhale, pull up from your belly, lift your chest, look forward. Exhale, step back and lower to the ground. Inhale, curl up for cobra pose. Pull the bottom tips of your shoulder blades in. And then exhale, push back to downward facing dog. Lift from your belly, push your hips back. And take 3 deep breaths here. So sort of like a modified sun salutation A. If you feel like walking in place in down dog, please do that. Take another breath. Look forward and either hop or step to the top of your mat, feet hip distance apart or maybe slightly wider. Inhale, lift your chest, look forward. Exhale, forward bend. Inhale, reach out and up as you stand. Exhale, bring your arms to your sides. So in general, that's what we're gonna do here for a little bit. Inhale, reach out and up, palms together overhead, look up. Exhale, forward bend, bend your knees as your head goes down, Uttanasana. Inhale, lift halfway up, look forward, Ardha Uttanasana. And then step back and lower down to the ground. So however you can get to that place, get there. Inhale, cobra pose, roll your shoulders back, lift your heart up, look up. Exhale, down dog. Take 3 deep breaths while you're there. Remember your Ujjayi breath. Deep inhale, look forward. Exhale, hop or step forward, feet hip distance or slightly wider. Inhale, lift your chest, look forward. Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, forward bend, Uttanasana. Inhale, reach out and up, coming up to upward salute or Urdhva Namaskarasana, palms together overhead. Exhale, bring your arms to your sides for Tadasana, mountain pose. One more time. Inhale up, Urdhva. Exhale, fold down, Uttanasana. Inhale, lift halfway up, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, step back and lower down. Inhale, Cobra pose, Bhajangasana. Exhale, Adho Mukha Svanasana, downward facing dog. 3 deep breaths. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale, look forward. Exhale, hop or step forward. Inhale, lift halfway up. Exhale, forward bend. Inhale, reach out and up as you stand. Exhale, arms at your sides. Tadasana, stay here for a breath. Okay, bring your feet together, or as close as they'll come together, even if they don't go all the way together, that's okay. So we did sort of this little get up from the ground, where we tried to get up from the ground from more of a tucked position, like a tucked squat position. So let's do just a little bit more ankle mobility here. So as you inhale, you're gonna come up onto your tippy toes and reach up. And then exhale, try to stay on your tippy toes. You're gonna bend your knees back to that like toe squat. Bring your arms out to the side, and then bring your arms around your knees, or whatever that looks like in your body, okay? If you need to at any time, obviously heels come down. Not obviously, but your heels can come down. Inhale, coming all the way back up. Try to stay on those tippy toes. And then exhale, back to Tadasana. Okay, inhale, tippy toes, reach up. Exhale, try to stay on your tippy toes, come down slowly into that toe squat. Wrap your arms around your legs at the bottom. And then inhale, try to lift back up from here on your toes, on the ball of your feet. And then exhale brings you back to mountain pose. So again, inhale, tippy toes, reach up. Exhale, stay on your tippy toes, bend your knees as you slowly lower yourself. Hopefully you're not cursing yourself if you're not balancing. If you don't practice this all the time, why would you be good at it? Inhale, reach out and up as you stand. Exhale, bring your heels down and bring your arms down. Okay, let's do it one more time. Inhale, tippy toes, reach up. Exhale, bend your knees as you slowly lower. Hug your knees, whatever that looks like for you. Inhale, coming back up. And exhale, heels come down, arms come down. So you're gonna get a little relief for your toes. Sitting back into chair pose. Okay, so start to sit down and back. Make sure that you can see your toes. So look down, knees behind toes. And go ahead and lift your toes off the floor there. Such a relief. Draw your low ribs in, tuck your tailbone a little bit, and then reach your arms up. If your arms are tired of being reached up, you could do hands on hips as a nice little break for your shoulders. As your arms reach up, make them work as hard as your legs are working. Spread your fingers and breathe deeply here. Okay, so you can let your toes rest now. Stay in your in your chair pose, which is a squat. Inhale, lift your right knee towards your chest. And then exhale, step your right foot out to the right. So you're in like this side lunge thing, okay? And then inhale, step back to that left foot and reach your right knee up. Exhale, step out to the right. And again, if your arms, shoulders get tired, hands on hips, you could even take a rest and come back and lift your right knee up and into your belly, and then step it out to the side. Just a few more like that. Inhale, bring it up. Exhale, out to the side. Inhale up. exhale, out to the side. Okay, stay in that out to the side position and really start to lift your butt up behind you as you keep so you're lifting your tailbone and your sitting bones up behind you, even though you're staying low. We're gonna take 2 more deep breaths there. Awesome. Hands on hips. Step your right foot towards your left foot. Now let's stand up for a second here. You can shake out that left leg. See you guys, if nobody's cursing me. I can't see your faces. That's probably a good thing. You can just see your bodies. Okay, we're gonna start once again in chair pose. So sitting down, reaching up possibly if that's the arm variation that you're taking. So you're gonna inhale, or feel your weight in your right foot for a moment here. Just feel that foot on the floor. On your inhale, left knee up. On your exhale, step out to the left. So a very unusual lunge here. Inhale, left knee comes up. Exhale, step out to the left. More or less your feet are lined up when you step out to the side. It doesn't need to be perfect. Okay, a couple more just like that. Your shoulders get tired, hands on hips. Maybe you can remember your Ujjayi breath. Remember you got what you want. You're stoked. Last 2 times. Stay low in that leg that's supporting you, the right leg. And then you're gonna step your left foot out. We're really going to get into this lunge for a moment here. So get a little lower in your hips. Stick your butt out behind you is one way to say that. Woo, breathe. Take another deep breath. Hands on hips. Lean to the right. Help you step back to the right. And stand up, shake out your right leg. Okay. Step your feet out wide. So you could turn on your mat. If your floor is not slippery, you might be able to just step your feet out wide from wherever you are. Line the pinky side edges of your feet up with the short edges of your mat. Okay, and then take your hands out to the side and line your ankles up underneath your wrists. That just makes it so that your legs are further apart than you probably normally do this. Or if you're an overachiever, maybe your feet are closer than you normally do. Place your hands on your lower back with your fingers pointing down so that your fingers are sort of on your butt. Not sort of, they are. Squeeze your elbows in, and as you inhale, lift your belly, lift your chest, look up. And then exhale, start to forward bend. This could be a place where you put a block, like placing a block on the floor underneath your hands underneath shoulders. Okay, press down into your heels, and then tuck your tailbone just a little bit. Draw your low ribs in. Place your hands on your hips. Okay, so shoulders in line with your hips if you can manage it. It's actually easier if your shoulders are above your hips, not below. So consider that. But shoulders in line with your hips if you can manage it. You might need to bend your knees a little bit here. Keep breathing. It takes a lot of strength to just, it's like tension strength, right? Just holding something. Press your feet down, squeeze your inner thighs towards each other. One more breath. Awesome. And go ahead and place your hands on blocks or the floor, shoulder distance apart. And then begin to bend your right knee. So it's almost like you're doing what we were just practicing, but now you're extra low. Yeah. Not necessarily trying to get your butt to the ground. You probably can't anyways. Your left inner thigh probably talking to you. We're just gonna go back and forth here. So side to side is a better way to say that. Left side, knee bends, right leg stays straight, and vice versa. As you're moving, breathing, if you prefer, you could do this with your elbows bent and head hanging down, or stay up, your elbows straight, arms straight. Either way is fine. Kind of focus on the legs here. Do the one that makes it easier to focus on the legs, on your legs. Okay. And then let's meet in the middle here with both legs straight or straightish. You might have your knees a little bent, that's okay. Walk your hands, both of them, towards your right leg. And as you do, your butt is going to start to go to the left. Allow that to happen. Take a deep inhale here. Lift your belly, lift your chest. And then exhale, fold forward toward the right. So your hands are both hands by your right foot. Yes. Yep. Good job bending your knees if you need to. Take another deep breath. And then staying sort of low here, you're gonna go over to the left side for the same thing on the left. Just get as close to your foot as you can today. Inhale, lift your belly, lift your chest, look up. And exhale, fold. Nice, slow, deep inhales and exhales. Okay. Come to center. Inhale, lift halfway up. And then exhale, fold. So you're in more of the traditional wide-legged forward bend for Prasarita Padottanasana. Walk your hands back so that your fingertips are in line with your toe tips, fingers pointing straight ahead. Breathe nice deep breaths here. On your next inhale, come halfway up, bring your hands underneath your shoulders, look forward. And then exhale, press into your feet, lift your belly, put your hands on your hips. Inhale, stand all the way up. Okay. You're gonna turn your toes out a little bit. Take a deep inhale here. And then exhale, forward bend again. Walk your hands over to the right. Bend your right knee deeply. And then start to lift your right heel off the ground. So you're in a half squat. Then curl your left toes towards your shin. We're going to do Skandasana. It's a back and forth movement in this position. So sort of like we were just doing, but now even lower. You're going to walk over to the left, come up onto the ball of your left foot, and then lift your right toes, curl them back towards your straight right leg. And just going back and forth here. So this is quite difficult. I want you to try to keep your inner thighs like part of the game. So keeping your pelvis lifting between sides will help you not overstretch your inner thighs there, especially at the attachment close to your pubic bone. Okay, so when you are at center, you're sort of lifting your butt, and then your butt drops back down toward the heel on the side that you move to. Okay, so to go a little bit further here, pull on this thread. When you go side to side, you might try to lift your hands up. So you can do hands on hips. And if you start to lose your balance, you can bring your fingertips back down. Could do hands at heart. I don't want to give too many arm variations, but you get the picture. You could even do hands overhead. We'll just do this a few more times. This is asking a lot of our hips. So it could be hands on the floor as your variation. That's totally awesome. Any one that works for you. Let's do one more time each side, which is sort of a lie, just to warn you. We're gonna end up on that right side. On the heel, sitting just above your heel. You might even walk your hands further over. So your like right sitting bone is pretty much directly above your right heel. And then get your balance there. Take your right hand on the outside of your right leg. That might help. Also, blocks would definitely help here for balance, even just one block. All right, so we're gonna try to defy gravity a little bit here, actually a lot. You might get a hip cramp. That means your hip is working. Take a look at your left leg. You're gonna keep your left leg straight, pull your heel back to you, so you pull that left butt cheek in towards your right, and then lift your left foot off the floor, maybe even just for a second. Try it. Your left leg is shaking, I understand. Mine is too. And then let that foot come down, and we're gonna go to the right side. You got a cramp, you know, you can go back to that standing forward bend with your feet wide, kind of shake your butt, shake the cramp out. It's not comfortable. And then come to the left side, so your left sitting bone is almost directly over your left heel. Left knee is out to the side. Take your left hand to the outside of your left thigh just to help you balance. And then pull, before you try to lift your leg, okay, pull your left butt cheek in, your left sitting bone in, so that leg engages a little more, toes curl towards your shin, and then try to lift your leg. Even a couple seconds count. Remember that little tiny step that we wrote down? All the steps count. One more breath. And then bring your foot down. Good job, you guys. We're gonna come back to like a center position. Lift your butt up really high, turn your toes forward. And then little yoga twerk. You're just gonna let your belly, your butt relax and shake your butt. Shake out that, any cramping that might be happening there. Ah, I really wish I could see this. This part especially. Turn your toes out. I need a dance party, y'all. Sit down. I need a yoga class with people, y'all. Put your hands on your thighs above your knees. So you're leaning forward a little bit in this pose. You're gonna press down with your hands so your elbows straighten. And sort of like push your legs further apart with your hands as well. And then turn your chest to the left and breathe. And take one more breath. And let's do the opposite side. Push your right leg away from you and breathe. Left leg away from you. I might have said that wrong. Either way, do the opposite side you did and breathe. See if you can come back to that Ujjayi breath if you're using it. Back to your deep breath if you're using that. Okay, return to center and press off your heels to stand up. Once again, you're just gonna shake your butt, shake your legs. A lot of like hip flexion, deep hip flexion. So let's counter that for a little bit before we leave, before we're done. But first, stand at the top of your mat. Take a deep inhale, reach your arms out and up. And then exhale, bend your knees and fold forward. Inhale, lift your chest, look forward. And then exhale, step your right foot back. Bring your right knee to the ground. So this will feel good anyways. Wiggle your right knee a little bit further back, unless this is already a good big stretch for you without needing to go very deep. Okay, back toes are gonna stay curled under, right toes stay curled under. Bring your left hand to the inside of your left leg, and then push your knee and your leg into each other. You could have your left hand on a block here if that would serve you, if you have a block. And now begin to turn your chest open to the right. So you're gonna turn your chest to the right. Your butt is gonna try to follow you. Okay, so just feel that happening. Try to make the turn mostly come from your chest, not so much your pelvis. And keep your arm pushing into your leg. Then from there, lift your right arm up. Okay. Woo. So first option, turn your right hand to face behind you and bring the back of your hand to or toward your left hip and then push. So this is a half bind. Half bind. All right. This is a nice place to be. Big, huge shoulder stretch for most of us. Now, you might try for the full bind if you would like. You're gonna bend your bottom elbow and try to get really low to the inside of that leg. Okay, we've done a lot of hip stretching, a lot of getting deep into the hips to prepare for this. You might surprise yourself. And then reach that bottom arm, left arm underneath you and up towards your butt, towards your lower back, towards your right hand. If you get a fingertip, hold on. Okay, if you've got a sock around you, maybe grab it, you can make yourself a little strap. Broaden your collarbones, all right? Pull your right shoulder blade in toward your spine. Tuck your chin slightly and take your last couple breaths here, either in the half bind or full bind. So you have choices. Take another breath. Excellent. Unwind yourself. Let's just give that hip a break for a second. Bring your hips back towards your heel. Even though they're gonna stay just above your knee, the direction is back. Lift your left toes up. Take a deep inhale here. And exhale, stay lifted, don't fold. You're just straightening the left leg. Decreasing the hip flexion a little bit here for a moment. You can sort of reflect on how that went, and what you thought about it, what your body thought about it. Okay, bring your left hand to the inside of your left leg. Swing that left leg back behind you. Place your hands underneath your shoulders, a little wider than your shoulders. Spread your fingers out. Remember that work we did at the beginning of class, sort of turning our hands into these suction cups. And then walk your knees back. Actually, do plank pose for a second for me. Plank pose. And then from plank, just drop your knees down to the ground, right underneath where they are. Tuck your tailbone. Lift your belly, lift your chest. So that should take some of the tuck out of your tailbone by lifting your chest. Okay, and that's fine. Now you're gonna try to lower down to the ground all in one piece. So your thighs don't come down before your chest, vice versa, it doesn't happen. Slowly lower by bending your elbows. Keep drawing your shoulders down away from your ears. And then untuck your toes. Roll your shoulders back, inhale, curl your chest up. Do a little cobra pose, but lift your feet up. Squeeze your big toes in. Take a breath. Now press your toenails down really hard. Yeah. Straighten your arms and lift your thighs up for a little upward facing dog-ish. And now push back to down dog. Take a breath or two here. Look forward, hop or step to the top of your mat, feet hip distance apart. Inhale, lift your chest, look forward. Exhale, step your left foot back. Okay, and the process begins again. So feeling for the stretch in your left hip. If it's too extreme, come out of it a little bit. Bring your foot forward. So the stretch, hopefully in the belly of your muscle, not up towards your hip too much. I mean, some of it's there, but it's not just totally there, okay? Back toes curled under, left toes curled under. Bring your right hand to the ground on the inside of your right foot. You put your hand on a block if you've got it. Now push your knee and your arm into each other. And begin to turn your chest open to the left. Notice how your hips want to sort of follow and move. Try to make the turn come mostly from your spine. And then once you're there, you're going to lift your left arm up and just pause here, breathing. Know where we're headed. We're not trying to be in a rush to get there, because once we're there, it's really not that fun to hold a bind for too long. Start to turn your left hand back behind you, and then bring the back of your left hand to or toward your right hip and push them into each other. Okay, and then this is the half bind. So this might be the step that you stay in. Or start to bend your right elbow and sort of sneak your body, get your body a little bit more down to the inside of your right inner thigh. And then reach that right arm underneath you. Turn your hand, so it's going to be the back of your hand, onto your hip or maybe lower back. Maybe you find a fingertip or your shirt or your pants, or you can make the clasp with your hands, whatever it is. And then turn your chest again open to the left. Pull your right shoulder blade in towards your spine and tuck your chin a little bit. And breathe. Nice, long, slow breaths, no matter what variation of the bind you're in. Last breath here. Awesome. So starting to unwind. And then going to the runner's lunge. Take your left hand, or excuse me, your right hand to the outside of your leg. And start to bring your hips back now. Lift your right toes up. Hands underneath your shoulders. We're going to stay in the upright position here and not fold forward unless you really want to. Okay, take a deep inhale and try to lift your spine away from your leg. Your knee does not have to be straight to get a stretch. I guarantee it. Breathe deeply. Bring your right hand to the inside of your right foot. Swing your right leg back so that you are on hands and knees again. Take your hands a little wider than shoulder distance apart. Plank pose. Take a breath. Now slowly lower to your knees. Tuck your tailbone. Lift your chest and pull your heart forward. Take another breath here. Bring your thighs to the ground. Slowly bend your elbows. Pull your heart forward as you bring your shoulders back. So that you're in a really kind of a high cobra pose with your toes tucked under. Big back bend here. One more deep breath. All right, push back to child's pose. So lift from your belly and your butt, and then bring your hips back, untuck your toes. Forehead to the floor and rest. And the next breath or two, find your way onto your back. Once you're on your back, bring the bottom of your feet together and your knees out wide, so you're in reclined cobbler's pose. If you find that to be too much for your inner thighs, you could do the opposite. You could take your knees together, feet out wide. So be here just for a moment, breathing. Place your hands on the lowest part of your belly, so below your belly button. And just feel your breath. Feel how your breath moves your hands even this low down. So as you inhale, your belly expands all the way to your pubic bone. And as you exhale, you feel that contraction. You feel the air move out as your belly goes in. A couple more breaths like this, breathing all the way down to your hands. Exhaling from your hands. Okay, bring the bottom of your feet to the floor. And then step your feet out as wide as your mat. Cross your right ankle to the outside of your left knee. Drop both of your knees toward the right. So this is like a hip flexor stretch, mostly for a muscle called your TFL, which is like this little tiny muscle sort of where your pocket would be on the left side. If you're not feeling that much, you might move your left knee so it's more directly in line with your left hip, or you might just not be that, you might not have that much tension there. Just a couple more breaths here. Begin to take that right foot off the outside of your left knee. Take your right foot to the edge of your mat, right edge, left foot, left edge. And then lift your left foot, bring the ankle of your left foot to the outside of your right knee, and then drop your knees to the left. So you're on that big toe side of your right foot once you're over there. And just feeling for the stretch wherever you feel it in your body right now. And breathing deeply. Start to really soften the back of your shoulders, the sides of your neck. And relax the muscles of your face. Start to let your breathing soften. Keep cueing into your sensations. So what are you feeling? Remembering you have what you want. And then begin to put your left foot off the outside of your right knee. Bring both of your feet up toward the ceiling or the sky. And then point and flex your ankles a couple times. Do some circles with your ankles. And then begin to slowly take your legs to the ground. However you feel is a good idea to do that. Once the back of your feet, once your heels are on the ground, you're just gonna wiggle your ankles, moving your toes in and out quickly so that your legs wiggle. And then let that slow down and stop. Press the back of your head down, lift your heart up so you can move your shoulders down your back a little bit. And then tuck your chin when you lay back down. Reach your arms out to the side. Take up at least the space of your own mat, and if you're ready, you can close your eyes. If it feels like you need to have your eyes open still, that's okay. So laying in Shavasana, corpse pose for our final position for a few minutes here. Just practicing our relaxation. You don't have to be breathing any certain way, just let your breath breathe you. And rest. Beginning to bring some movement back to your body, maybe even just deeper breaths. And then if there's any other stretches that would feel good, you can start to do those now. And then slowly in the next few breaths, make your way up to seated position. And let's do this really cool mudra really quick to sort of seal in whatever that want was. You know, it's really hard to ask for what we want, especially if it's something big. I know that I really struggle with this, even with little things. So take the back, so you're gonna cross your heart with your upper left arm, take the back of your left hand to the outside of your right thigh. So you're sort of crossing your heart with your left arm. And then place the palm of your right hand in your left palm and gently close your fingers around the outer edges of your hands. This is Sankalpa Mudra. So we're creating a seal to seal in our intention, knowing that we are deserving of whatever it is that we want. We all work hard. Uh, we all deserve to be happy. We all, even if we don't work hard, you deserve to be happy. You deserve to have what you want, no matter what. Now, taking your palms, keeping them together, you're going to bring your palms now, or your hands now, into prayer mudra. And then take your hands and press your thumbs into your heart. And together, let's sing the sound of Om. Take a deep inhale. Thank you guys so much. Really so cute to see all you guys and the babies. I don't know if you guys can see the babies in the room. That was awesome. Does anybody want to come off mute and say what they want? You don't have to, obviously. I'll say what I want. I have always wanted to be a rock star. Right? I would love to be up there on stage every night, I think. Be careful what you wish for, right? So that's my like big want that seems out there. You guys want to share? You don't have to. I'm not trying to make you uncomfortable. I am a little bit. Okay, you guys, thank you so much for doing this class with me. And I hope to see you guys again. And Amanda's friend, great to have you here. And little babies, great to have you guys here too. Bye, good night.